Hi, it's Gail Kendig, and I did a video yesterday on in a moment. Can you change in a moment? Or what a difference a moment makes, I guess. And I wanted to tell you a story about when I was in the airlines, when I first got into the airlines and became a flight attendant. There was one situation, which was a really big situation, where I have to make a very long story short, but there was smoke in the whole aircraft. It was a small aircraft, about 50 seats. And in that moment, there were many moments, but one particular moment I opened up the cockpit door. And that was to get help, number one, to ask, find out what I was supposed to be doing because the smoke kept getting worse. And when I opened up the cockpit door, I couldn't see the captain at all because the smoke was so thick in the cockpit. And I saw the first officer because when you open the door, from the right or the left to the right, basically I could see the first officer in my eyes, And his eyes, he had this, big contraption helmet thing on with an oxygen mask. And he looked at me and I looked at him, but his eyes were as big as saucers. In that moment, I knew I was going to die. Pretty much. I knew I was going to die. And I can laugh about that now, but in that moment, I, of course, was talking to myself and processing everything that I was going to die. And, my nieces and nephews and how they're going to miss me, blah, blah, blah. In that moment, because of his reaction, he had no control. He was not going to save us because in his mind, he was going to die too. I saw that in his face. The captain, on the other hand, I'm here to tell you the story because we survived. The captain, in that moment, said, I'm not going to die. When I asked him later, I said, what saved this? What went through your mind? Because I'm always interviewing. I'm an interviewer. I'm a recruiter. I'm always asking questions. And I said, Tom, what turned things around? He said, I have 2 little boys, and I am not going this way. And he now is a huge safety inspector, works with the FAA. I mean, he's a really great, great guy. He saved my life. He saved all those lives on the airplane. But in that moment, there were two men, in that cockpit. One who was thinking clearly and taking control of his mind, and the other that totally panicked. And you could see it in his face. We have that power every moment of our lives to say, can I make the situation better? What choices do I have? What can I do? Not to shut down, but what can I do? Ask yourself different questions. It's Gail Kendig. I'll talk to you tomorrow.